What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is Baltimore rapper Brian Ennals. We spoke about the MCU, Doctor Strange, why Robocop is a perfect movie, House Party, being influenced by Stevie Wonder and Pusha-T, his early rap career, valuing the art of writing over the art of technical rapping, connecting with producer and multi-instrumentalist Infinity Knives, and the creative process behind their latest album, King Cobra. Come fuck with us. So what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Real Notes. It's 72 degrees in October. We're all gonna die. um, yeah, it's over. You know, we'll be here. We'll be here for a while longer, but I don't know how much longer sometimes. So just live it up while you can. It's Dylan Green, CineMasai. I got a lot of names, do a lot of shit. And I'm with somebody else who I say this all the time now. I'm just realizing it, but like this guy really does a lot of shit. You know, like it's you know, like yeah, most of it well, bro. Don't be so modest. Nah, man. This man's a rapper. He's a native son of fucking Baltimore, and
yes,
fucking man's a dad. He's a hard ass worker. Like he is and just like
working, bro.
Yeah, just like real like one of the most like pleasingly confrontational rappers I've ever heard in my life. This man, we got Brian Ennals. I pronounced your name when I had Infinity Knives on a couple weeks ago. I pronounced your name wrong, and I'm so sorry about that.
Oh no, all good, man. All good. It's been happening my whole life. You know what I mean? I just Reynolds without the R. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Gotcha. So yes, Ennals. I said Ennals the first time. It is Brian Ennals.
That's usually where most people go with the sharp E before. So don't feel bad about it, man. It's funny you said that about the world ending soon because of the weather. And I always say to people, like, you know what I mean? Like global warming's obviously terrible, but like before it kills us, that like generation before, we're gonna have like the best weather ever, bro.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible. Like everywhere's gonna feel like fucking Mexico. Everywhere's gonna feel like fucking Kingston and like license. Like
yo, everything's gonna be beachfront, bro. It's gonna be like 90 degrees in February in Baltimore. It's gonna be dope. But you know, then we're all gonna die. So you know, but before then,
right. No, you gotta make sure you eat good, all that shit. You know, it's like
pick some papaya.
Some papaya, some fucking I was just talking to somebody yesterday and like for the first like I don't know very many people in my life who don't like crab meat. And like I was just like talking to bro and he was like, oh, I don't really know how I feel about crab meat. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know how you feel about crab meat. Like
he's on the fence.
Yeah, not even on the fence. He's like he's just like they never tried it because like
okay.
I don't know, you know, like we're all weird about food. We all have weird shit.
Everybody's got their thing,
Yeah, totally. But yo, man, thank you so much for being here. Like King Cobra's out now.
My pleasure, man.
You indeed. You know, you and Infinity Knives did incredible work with it. Like I've been listening to it a lot over the course of the last couple of days and just like marinating into it. So, but thank you for coming on here to talk about movies and bullshit. So,
hey man, I appreciate it, man. I like talking about bullshit, you know, pop culture movies specifically. So this is right up my fucking alley right here, man.
Hell yeah!
I know. Remember last time when I came on a little bit with Infinity Knives, we like just touched on Marvel movies, and I'd almost gone on a spiel. So yeah, man, whatever you got today is great.
Let's go, bro. So let's start. Let's start with the question I ask everybody who comes on here. What's the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Oh shit! The last movie I saw that I had a strong opinion about, you know, probably a movie. Probably Multiverse of Madness, I would say.
Hey,
I haven't seen a lot of movies in the past couple of months. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'm trying to run by in my head, like, what have I watched streaming? And again, it's probably like Marvel shit. You know, I've been watching She-Hulk, and then last movie I probably saw that sticks out right now is probably the Doctor Strange shit, man. That sounds so terrible to say.
That's fine.
I wish I was wanting to say something a lot like deeper and more profound, but no, that's it.
That's fine. So I've been talking to a few people about this, and it's apparently been like real mixed. So like, how did you feel about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? Because I liked it. I thought it
Oh,
was tight.
I thought it was fucking dope. I thought it was
See?
fucking dope. It's it had I think Marvel. It didn't feel like a Marvel like house style movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't feel like another movie by the brothers, the Russo brothers. You could tell Sam Raimi directed it. It had like that horror kind of schlocky element to it. It wasn't too long. I think it was like a crisp like 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe not
Um,
even. It might have been like an hour 40 or
it,
some shit.
it might have been an hour 40, man. I thought it moved at a fucking good clip. I mean, it was a fucking mess. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
if you're talking about like I don't know script or however you want to look at a movie, but I don't know, man. I had a good fucking time.
Yeah, no, I had a great time with it too. And you're like, I'm really big on Sam Raimi's whole aesthetic. I love Evil Dead. I love Drag Me to Hell. I love all that shit. So like just to
Oh,
see
drag
that
me to
kind of
hell.
man, so underrated. Or at least it kind of feels underrated. Maybe it isn't, but to me, it's just like,
I think it
yeah,
is. Have you know the theory with that movie about it being about like bulimia, right?
no. At first, tell me about that.
Yeah. So from what I can understand about Drag Me to Hell, the movie is basically about bulimia. They introduced her the character. She's part of the 4-H club. They talk about her
Mm.
being fat as a girl. You never see eating food in the movie. In every
Mm.
instance of her being cursed is related to something like food related. Um, so it's at that, from and I haven't seen the movie in probably 10 fucking years, right?
Same, yeah. I
Um,
saw it once. I
yeah,
rented
but
it.
her being dragged to hell at the end is kind of like a metaphor for her, like forcing herself to vomit again. Um, and
Hmm.
that's basically yeah, it's weird, man, and it's not one of those things that's like off the wall. It seems purposeful in the sense that I think it actually is what the movie's about. Not like on some conspiracy shit. I think that
Yeah.
is like the idea. But it ties back into her having a low self-esteem, being that fat girl in the in the farm club, and how everything kind of relates to food from there. I gotta watch it again and then go over the theory again. But yeah, some weird shit.
Weird. Yeah, nah, yeah, like I haven't seen the movie in probably like like whenever it came out was the last time I saw it. So
I'll
like
say
I don't
so. Yeah, like 10, 12 years ago. Yeah,
that's wild. Like I haven't even done any reading. I don't remember like shit about it except for the very end when she gets dragged from the train station. But that's
best
crazy.
one of the best endings ever.
Yeah, it's and it works so well because it's they rope a dope motherfuckers because like it starts out like you think she's gonna be fine and then she
Of
has the
course,
button and then she gets it's just really really well paced and super well done and I
absolutely.
just like everything that not everything that Sam Raimi does but it's just like he loves that like really like schlocky like funhouse horror aesthetic and seeing that in
Yeah,
a Marvel movie and like watching everything get so gory and creepy and like it's like genuinely scary in some parts too.
yeah,
Like I just think like that type of shit works so well for the Doctor Strange character. So I think he was a great choice. And like I get people not appreciating the
I
aesthetic, but
get it.
like I love that shit. Like fucking like give me all the zombie Doctor Strange. Like that's like I need that in my life. Like I
Yeah,
didn't know I needed that
Doctor
in my
Strange
life.
with like a
Like
third eye, like literally in his head.
mm-hmm.
Um, Filming Scarlet Witch, kind of like a serial killer in a horror movie. And like the back third of the movie, I thought was kind of fucking inspired. Like she's walking around with the blood on her face, the way the camera's always kind of turned, it's kind of like narrow on her, and she's walking down the narrow hallway, regardless of
Yeah.
where they're at. It kind of seems like that. Um, and the one thing I mentioned after you stopped talking was the one scene people had problems with was where Strange and the evil Doctor Strange are having a fight with musical notes. And
Yeah.
that's all Steve Ditko. Like that's Steve Ditko Stan Lee shit. Like that's
Yep.
very much in the spirit of Doctor Strange. And, I think comic book movies should be fucking weird. And I
Yeah.
think it was a weird fucking movie. And that's what I liked about it. Yeah.
And like even more than weird, it's like kind of silly. And like
There you go.
comic books
Yeah.
are silly, bro. Like the shit
They're
is
I
silly.
love
Like
that's it. They're fucking silly, yo. Yeah,
like
as a lifelong reader, you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect the art form, obviously. But the appeal is that to me that they're fucking silly. Like they shouldn't take themselves too seriously. And I think the best live action comic book stuff is the stuff that I wouldn't say has a wink to it, but at least acknowledges that like this is inherently fucking goofy, so we can have some fucking fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, bro. Like fucking like the big bad of the last like 10 movies is like a big dude with like a big purple dude with a prune chin who has a fucking gauntlet with rubies in
Glove,
it. Like
a
just like
glove.
what's like yo, like what's so like that's so silly. Like
It's silly,
so
and
yeah.
he has to literally snap his fingers for it to work, which is like the goofiest shit ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like yeah, like who thought because like they made it in the Fire of the Star and like Peter Dinklage and shit, and it's just like I could just imagine it being like, yes, he has to snap his fingers for it to work. Like why? Like why are we doing this, bro? Like all you gotta do is like point, like I don't know. Either way, like
Yeah,
it's fucking
point
silly.
any type of finger configuration. I would think would be
Yeah.
easier than having to snap your fingers specifically. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but yeah, it's great. But and Infinity War, was super fucking silly, and that might be like the best thing they've ever done. So that's where they
Mhm.
embraced it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they kind of found that middle ground, and I think like
They
you said,
did. It was a good middle
you
ground.
the best of these movies really like find that good middle ground for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think
Um,
like my favorite shit, I guess best combo movie to me is probably like Batman Returns.
mhm.
Um, which is like, it has that grotesque, almost Sam Raimi type thing going with it. It's fucking silly and it's dark. But it walks that middle ground where I think the characters are treated seriously and there's an emotional pull to it. But it's one on a tangent. But I would say that Batman Returns kind of fulfills that, I think, on all levels to me.
Yeah, it let me like Batman Returns is like so dope just because like it's like so campy, but like it
Yeah,
like and I don't even know like just so many moments. Like the soundtrack's great, the aesthetics great. Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer fucking killing the shit, and
dude, dude.
oh
I'm not saying it like Academy Award nominations should have been had. I'm not fucking even kidding.
yeah,
They were
nah,
incredible.
they were so good, they were so good.
Incredible.
Like, and real quick before we move on,
Yeah.
I just learned recently that Marlon Wayans was supposed to be in the movie and he was supposed to play Robin.
Oh yeah. If you have I was a kid then. I have the Robin action figure
Okay,
from
so you do
Batman
know about
Returns,
it.
where he
Okay,
actually
yeah.
has a high top fade, but his face has been painted white, and you're like, yo, why does
Yeah.
Robin got like a fade from Kid and Play? Because that's how they did it, and it was Marlon Wayans. Yeah,
That shit is so tight. Yeah,
I
because
mean they made his suit and everything apparently. Like he was like almost on set. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and they paid him for his trouble. I think they paid him like 100 grand, and he still gets royalties from the movie. Like it was like
Yeah,
like
he
his
still
yeah, his
eats.
contract was crazy with it. Yeah, it's wild. Like he deserves it. Like fuck it, you know. Like
Yeah, I mean, if you had that type of opportunity kind of like taken from you, probably because Tim Burton's racist. I mean, I don't fucking know.
I mean,
Yeah, because Tim Burton, man, I don't know. I mean, he's a genius, obviously, but there's some shit going on there. But yeah, man,
yeah.
it was like he was in the script. They made his fucking toy. He got cut right at the last minute, man. But it all
Mm-mm.
worked out for everybody, I guess.
Hey, yeah, fuck it. So talk to me about the first movie experience you can remember having. Like, it could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin house, wherever
Sure.
the fuck. Like,
I think I touched on this a little bit um, during your interview with Knives. I want to say the first movie I remember seeing in the theater, and really the first experience that sticks out with me is probably RoboCop. Um, you know, which I still think is it's a perfect movie. Might be the best American movie. Um,
it's up
just
there. It's great. It's
it's
great.
up there. It's pretty much flawless. I think it's like 90 minutes. We were talking about how multiverse kind of moves at a clip. RoboCop obviously like it doesn't stop. There's a forward momentum towards the whole thing. But yeah, that's the first thing I can remember. And kind of obviously being freaked out when he was like assassinated. And then kind of feeling relieved, obviously, when he gets his humanity back at the end. And still, as much as I hate cops now, still liking Robocop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't group Robocop in with the rest of cops. Like it's just he's different, man. Robocop's cool.
Right. Nah, I get it. It's like he's like one of those things. It's like Transformers. It's like, oh, like you're giving me a robot that also can turn into a car, like a robot that's also a cop. It's just like one of those like combo things that just works like in spite of itself, and just like the
Absolutely.
and just like the universe in that movie is just so detailed, and like it's like
Yeah.
really dark and kind of depressing because like OCP, they already took over and they're gutting Detroit, you know?
Yeah.
And like RoboCop gets his humanity back, but like OCP still sucks and they still own everything. So like
Everything.
he
Yeah.
wins, but everyone still loses. It's like it's just it's like a little too real, like
it feels like, and this just occurred to me, like RoboCop feels like it takes place in the same universe that like the first Mad Max does. Like
I
it's
can see
like
that.
pre apocalyptic future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Like RoboCop's like 10 years before Mad Max, and then Mad Max happens and then shit really gets out of hand. But yeah, it's obviously like super anti-capitalist. And it's obviously, even though the movie ends on like a positive note, you're right, it's fucking cynical. Like, like OCP runs everything. He has his humanity back, but I mean, he didn't like solve any problems of the world. You know what I mean? He just kind of got,
Right.
it's like a Western. Like he got his revenge.
Yeah. He
But
solved his
he
murder,
didn't get his,
like
he solved his murder. He doesn't get his family back though, which I think is like a dark part of it
yeah.
that people don't. In most movies, he would have got his family back, enough of his
Mhm.
humanity back to link with his wife or his kid, and like that never happens.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely yeah. Like one of the things I always really appreciated about RoboCop is the fact that obviously it has like some kind of a cool ending, but it's not afraid to be like, but look at this. Like I didn't even think about the
Right.
fact that he doesn't have his wife and kid at the end. Like, like it's brave enough to not have a 100% happy ending. Like to just
Sure.
kind of leave you like the ending's definitely more bittersweet than I think most people talk about when it comes.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just so beautifully done. It's
Because the
great.
ending is it's so 80s, like because he ends and he's like Murphy. And it's like, that's
Mm-hmm.
very Schwarzenegger, like Stallone type of ending, like during that period. You know what I mean? Like, the crowd's
Yeah.
supposed to like jump up and cheer when he says that, but it's like, oh, but like, man, everything still kind of sucks, like you said. Like, this is like dark. But speaking of people that should have gotten Academy Award nomination, Peter
Mm-hmm.
Weller as RoboCop is insane. Acting without your eyes should be theoretically impossible. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he pulled that shit off.
Cause didn't he? Cause didn't like maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I think he like practiced not blinking for like extended periods of time
I
or some
think you're
shit while he
right.
was making the movie. Maybe like don't
I
quote me
feel
on that,
like
but
I
I
heard
think
that.
yeah, like he like really committed and just like even if you just look at like even if you look at like the death scene when he's getting like shot up by the dad from everybody from that 70s show, which is like
Yes, Red shoots the shit out of him.
that's hilarious to me because I wasn't really a that 70s show fan, but I had seen the show before I saw RoboCop. So I'm watching the movie and I'm like, what's the dad from that 70s show doing here? Like, why is he a drug kingpin? Like, I can't take this shit seriously. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Dude's in the kitchen in the chair complaining all day. Like, the fuck? Like,
Yeah. It's funny because he's like a dick on the 70s show too. Like the characters aren't that different. You know what I mean? Like he's such
yeah.
an asshole in the 70s show, and in the movie, he's kind of a dick too. It's like Red Foreman like 15 years before. Like, he was a gang, he's a drug dealer, he settled down and had kids and shit.
Right. He
But
just has more power. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, you're
it's
totally right. You're totally right.
but yeah, but everybody's fucking good in it, man. And I don't know if I don't know if I can name anybody but Red Foreman and Peter Weller. I mean, it's very much a B movie in a sense, the aesthetic at least, and the
Mm-hmm.
concept. But it's also like art, I think.
Yeah, it's perfect. In
Perfect.
all honesty, like I really don't say that about very many movies, but like it's perfect.
RoboCop's
it's the
perfect.
best. It's the best possible version of exactly what it wants to be, and it just works on
Yeah,
every fucking level. Like,
that's it. It doesn't really miss a note, man. And it holds up. Like if I watched it probably about 6 months ago, and it's like the violence still feels very brutal.
mm,
Because there's no CGI and RoboCop's pretty practical, he still holds up. I mean, obviously the big machine at the end doesn't, but it's even kind
yeah,
of funnier now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it kind of works. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's
yeah, because
perfect.
like it could, yeah, because like it's because the Ed 209 is supposed to look like over encumbered and cheesy and shit, like that's just like what it's
Exactly.
supposed to be. And that I think they did all of that with claymation, with stop motion animation, which is
That
really
makes
fucking cool.
sense
I'm pretty sure. Like,
because it just has like a not a very like disturbing kind of not real quality to it.
hmm
Um, it just doesn't kind of look of this earth. It's very alien. But like you said too, like super fucking goofy as well. And yeah, I think it
yeah,
holds up even better now. Yeah, I did not know fucking claymation. That makes sense. It does look like claymation.
yeah, because like I mean, like CG was used around that time, but it just like looks too jerky for it to be like made on a
Way too
computer to
jerky.
me. Like
Because
that,
CG really popped
yeah.
with like Terminator 2 Jurassic Park, right? That was kind of when.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Apparently, I just learned this recently. Apparently, the first one of the first movies to ever use like a computer to make special effects was Disney's The Black Cauldron. There's like
Huh.
one scene where they're in like a dungeon and they're
Yeah.
and they're like floating through a sewer on a boat, and the boat was generated on a computer.
Oh
Like
shit.
that was like one of the very first examples of like CGI in a movie ever.
Was that
But
Black Cauldron? I'm not even familiar with it. Was that like a pirate movie in like the 80s or something?
Black Cauldron, how do I explain the Black Cauldron? It was this like medieval like fantasy Disney movie that they made. it
Okay.
was it was the movie that there was the movie that almost made Disney stop making animated movies because it didn't make any money, and like nobody went to
Ah,
see it. But like now it's kind of like a cult classic and a lot of people love it. Like it's one of those that was kind of ahead of its time in a way. It's like
so it was like it
it's like
was like it was like that pre Little Mermaid era when they would just throw shit at a wall, same with sticks.
Yeah, basically. Cause like that happened, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, nah, like we're not doing this animated shit no more. Like we're done. Y'all ruined us." And it was gonna be nothing but live action movies for the rest of
Shit.
forever. And then they hit their second golden renaissance with Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and all that shit.
Aladdin, the whole
Like
nine. Yeah.
and Aladdin, yeah. It like the if you can find it, the Black Cauldron's definitely worth the
It
watch
should
though.
be
It's
on
really
Disney
good.
Plus theoretically, right?
I don't think so. It's like one of the only ones
Oh, they're
they'll
trying to
never add
carry
to
that
Disney
shit.
Plus. Yeah, it's that and Songs of the South. Like those are the two they're never gonna put up there. Poor Uncle Remus, bro.
Oh man, Songs of the South. And it's like, is it just the fact that like a black dude is very coolish in it, or is there like some real I advocate for the Klan shit in Song of the South? Like, how bad does it get in Song of the South? I know it's
So
bad,
I've never seen it ever.
right?
It's so hard to find, but like it's just like he's just a coon. That's the whole thing. From
That's
what
what I
I
thought was the
understand,
issue. The issue
you
is that he was
know.
a coon. Yeah.
And like Disney just doesn't like outside of, well, I mean, they're also redoing Splash Mountain at Disney World too. They're actually about to remake it as they're gonna retheme it to Princess and the Frog. So like,
Huh.
yeah, yeah, weird, right? But like, it looks cool, but like, outside of the fact that Splash Mountain was themed after the animated parts of Song of the South, they don't talk about that movie. Like, they'll never re-release it. Like,
Oh no, they can't.
yeah, yeah, they get destroyed if they tried that shit. Like rightfully so. Like fuck that.
No, it's
Like
got to be on like parts of it. Got to be on YouTube. Like I gotta watch Songs of the South now. I want to know. I want to know what this is about.
yeah, no, when you do, let me know because I'm curious too. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
for
tap
sure.
into
If I
some
get a
shit.
link, man, I'm sending that shit to you. He's probably
Please,
like that.
thank you.
I know his eyes are bugged out. He's like tap dancing and shit, calling people mad, calling people mister and shit. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm hyped to find out now. So like all this happens with RoboCop in particular, and like talk to me about music real quick. We're gonna kind of move a little fast through this.
Yeah, for sure,
What
for sure.
Yeah, so like talk to me about music. Like when did you first fall in love with music and like
Oh
I guess
man,
rap specifically? Yeah.
music in general, as far as I can remember, Motown specifically at first. I remember
Mm-hmm.
my parents. One of my first memories. We had like this VHS cassette of a Motown review from probably like 1964, where everybody, all the peak era Motown people, from Marvin Gaye to Stevie to Supremes, they were all doing like a live performance. We had it on VHS cassette, and it's all I used to watch. It was just like
Oh.
I constantly would bring it up, make my parents put it on to the point where they like had to hide it from me. I wound up finding it when I was like 17 years old. They like they like put it in like this stash in like the garage, and I don't know if they just
Yeah.
claimed they lost it or whatever. But yeah, Motown first, and Stevie Wonder specifically was kind of
That's
when I fell in love with
incredible.
music. This is when I'm probably like 4, I would guess. Me and my
Mm-hmm.
babysitter used to draw sketches of Stevie Wonder all the time, just because I like drawing the glasses and his dreadlocks. Um, Hip hop specifically, believe it or not, I was kind of like a late bloomer to like really being a rap head. Kids got into it, like my peers really started loving rap when they were probably like 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I started loving it when I was more so like 12 or 13. I remember it was 1996. I bought some rap stuff before 1996, but 1996 was where I started buying rap albums. It was like the Fugees and Crisscross, Young, Rich, and Dangerous. I remember like consciously
Mm-hmm.
buying. And then Tupac died later that year.
Right.
And I wasn't, and as much as I knew about Tupac as like a pop culture figure at that time, even then I wasn't super familiar with his music. The Source had, their special commemorative issue, and Vibe had one too. So reading those at that point, catching up on the East West Coast thing, and then going back to like the last 5 or 6 years of rap, was when I kind of fell in love with hip hop. So it took me a while to kind of catch up, but I eventually did. So I was like 96 for rap.
Okay. I
And
mean, like
a good
that's
friend of
cool.
mine, that Christmas, 96 was big too. A friend of mine got a CD player for the first time, and his parents got him Hardcore and Iron Man.
Ooh,
And
wow.
those albums kind of changed both of our lives, I would say. Yeah.
Damn. So there's a couple things I want to dig into real quick. So I feel you on the Motown shit. My father
Yeah.
was in a doo-wop group, so I
Oh,
completely
shit.
like that's all like that was like my whole childhood, just like Motown, doo-wop, R&B. But he was
Yeah.
also like real like contemporary too. Like he had like the Destiny's Child shit and the Eric Benet shit. Like all that
Right.
shit was my childhood. So like I completely feel you. And like young Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder was such a fucking icon, bro. Like he
Yeah.
was like,
the,
yeah,
the actual goat to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
pound for pound and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think anybody's better, but yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Like I thought about it, and every single one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs comes from two albums, like Intervisions and fucking Songs in the Key
Songs
of
are
Life.
your life. Yeah.
Like another star is my favorite Stevie song ever, and maybe one of my favorite songs of all time. He's just yeah. Sorry, I love Stevie Wonder.
It's the shit he did in the mid 70s, and I mean, obviously, we're the million people that talk about this, but that run, man, I think it starts with like Music on My Mind and
Mm-hmm.
ends with Songs in the Key of Life, where like basically over the course of 5 to 7 years, he drops like 5 of the best albums of all time. I think he went like 4 Grammy albums of the year. Uh, really kind of perfects, um, really kind of perfects pop R&B during that period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, kind of replaces, along with Marvin Gaye, obviously, and Aretha to an extent, but kind of replaces um, that Motown machine sound where everything kind of had that same 4x4,
Yeah.
and really made it kind of live a little bit. That's when they started.
Yeah.
Obviously, the rock guys, Beatles, Rolling Stones, whatever, they took from the blues and R&B guys. But with Stevie and Marlon, that was when we started taking shit from them.
Yeah.
Because clearly Stevie clearly was bumping like Sergeant Pepper and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally,
Um, to
absolutely.
get those sounds he got like in the mid 70s. So yeah, about time
Yeah.
we can steal from them. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it.
Yeah, it's only fair, bro.
It
It's only
like
fair.
it's only fair, sir.
So like like all this happens, and like you're kind of just like absorbing music, absorbing movies. Was there ever like do you remember the first time, or like was there ever a time early on in your life when you like consciously linked film and music together in your head as like two things that complement one another?
Hmm. You know what? I can't say. I will say, you know, I will. I can actually say. And it happened around the same time. Do the right thing in House Party.
Okay,
Um,
let's go.
do the right thing specifically because of the Rosie Perez Fight the Power intro. And
Iconic.
House Party, which speaking of perfect movies, I think is one as well. House Party is pretty much flawless. And it's almost like a musical. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
In some ways, like, but it's not. They don't actually break the song, obviously, but the whole midsection where you have the rap battle and the dance battle, it almost becomes like a concert on film. And those
Especially
guys
at the actual house party. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
at the
But yeah.
actual house party. I mean, just because they're going through like the soundtrack and doing all these different dances. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we had house parties when teenagers, obviously, but like niggas weren't doing fucking choreographed dance routines. So I'm just imagining that right now in high school, like everybody like, yo, we got this one. But yeah, man, I would say do the right thing to some extent, but House Party was kind of where I realized how both of those things could kind of work together for sure.
That's incredible. Like, like I really, really, really I have so many good memories attached to the movie House Party, but like and like half of it is because to me it's like it's so cheesy, but like in such like a specific way that it just like feels like I often gotta remember that it was originally written for Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, but
Yeah, man. And I
they
often, is that like, have we established that that's 100% true? Or is that like an urban legend? Is that really the case?
I'm pretty sure it's true.
I
I'm
think it is.
pretty sure
Yeah.
that's facts. Yeah. Which is like
Yeah.
which like it makes sense because to me it feels like a precursor to something like the Fresh Prince. Like the Fresh Prince probably doesn't happen if House Party doesn't happen. Like the aesthetics are just like too, like it's just like that House Party walked so the Fresh Prince could fly, basically.
Yeah. It kind of,
Like
if you look at House Party, the Fresh Prince intro theme kind of looks, it feels like House Party. Yeah. 100%.
totally. Yeah,
Shit.
and like it's just like it's just so cheesy and so endearing in such like a really specific like era specific way type shit. I don't know. It's just like 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 I watched it again recently, and
Yeah.
the only thing that kind of made me go like, oh, this is kind of rough is you remember the part when he's in jail and he starts rapping the song about them assaulting him? That shit was too much. That shit was too much.
I
They
will
they
say
they
that.
they, they needed to cool
The,
down on that one.
yeah, the third act after the party stops, um, there's a couple swings and misses, for sure. Yeah, that stuff did not age well. That the jail stuff did not age well at all,
my
man.
my son said, "Lips don't fail me now." No, it's cool. The movie's great. That's not. I still love the movie, but I just like watched it. I was like, I
Nah,
don't remember this. Like talking about.
yeah, my to this day, man. You know the rap battle. It might be my favorite movie scene of all time. I think I still know every word to those raps. Like if you put on that break beat, I think I could do it right now. You know what I mean? Like, is it
That's
gonna be me
incredible.
or a race ahead? Look at him. Already it has been. Let Uncle Play say a rhyme and I tuck your ass in. Like, yo,
Oh man.
yeah, man. If you can stay out past Pop's curfew, like, yo, they were like friends, but like there was a weird antagonism between them too. That I think kind of
Yeah.
like it was they were obviously boys. He got them from jail and shit. But that's kind of high school though. You're an adolescent. Like you and your best friends are obviously very competitive with each other too. When it comes to girls, and if you
Yeah.
both rap or if you both play sports. Um, Even though everybody was clearly like 30 years old, it kind of felt like high school, which is hard to pull off.
Totally. Yeah. Because I think Kid was 26 when the movie came out. And
And
Robin Harris,
Full Force was like 40.
right? And Robin Harris was like in his mid-30s. You know, like it
Yeah,
was.
Robin Harris was shockingly young when that movie came out and when he passed away.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because he passed, I think, like 6 months after it came out or something, right?
Yeah, he was just about to blow.
Man,
My parents
god
used to
damn.
debate man, that dude. My parents used to drive around with the Baby's Kids stand up tape,
Oh
which is
my
like, people
god.
used to listen to stand up acts on tape and CD, which obviously like isn't a thing anymore. But we used to ride around that shit listening to it every day for like months, maybe like a year.
Mm.
And obviously he wasn't do the right thing. He had that clip. I think he was in a Hollywood Shuffle or that
He was in
HBO
Hollywood
show that
Shuffle,
was
yeah.
like Hollywood Shuffle. Yeah, but either way, I mean, I don't know. Maybe pound for pound, one of the funniest dudes ever, and definitely somebody we lost too soon because that dude was about to. He was almost out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And yeah, like not to go off on a tangent, but Bebe's Kids is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like the way you feel about House Party, I feel about Bebe's Kids. That
As
movie is
Baby's
just
Kids, yeah,
so
yeah.
that movie is so special to me. It's so corny in so many ways, but it's just like that's like once again, just like it's just so pure, you know, like it's not trying to be anything that it isn't, and I appreciate that about it. Even if it's not a perfect movie, but it's one I'll throw on and like I'll like
It was
I'm
good.
the same way with they the kids do the rap with LaShawn Khalil and Pee Wee do the little rap. He's like, I'm the John taker, the candy
Yeah, yeah,
taker,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like I'll do that whole shit like right now if you let me. Like and fucking and fucking Tone
Bernie
and
Mac did
Tone Loc
Robin
was the
Harris' voice in
baby.
that,
Like
correct?
what happened?
Bernie Mac did Robin Harris's character in that movie.
No, Frankie Faison. No, excuse me. Sorry. It was Faison Love. It was Faison
Get
Love's
out of
first
here,
movie.
Face on Love.
It was his first movie role ever. He had never been in a movie before, and he voiced Robin in that movie.
What?
Yeah, that
Man,
shit
I
is
would
crazy,
not
right?
guess that. If this had been a trivia show, I definitely would have guessed Bernie Mac. Wow, Face on Love's been around fucking forever.
Yeah, man, like that, and yeah, like that was like literally his first role ever. Like I had to look it up just to be sure, but like, yeah, I love that movie, everything about it.
Yeah, it was a big deal because how old are you? You're what, like 30, like Tariq's
I'm,
age?
yeah, I'm exactly 30. I just turned 30.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so you were like super young when Baby's Kids came out. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I was like just born because it came out in '92. It came out in July of
92.
'92. So
I remember when it came out.
I was 4 months old. I was 4 months old when that shit came out. Yeah.
That's crazy. That just Now I feel old and want to do some
Hey,
self harm, but we'll talk about
age
that
is just
later.
a state of mind, son. Come on, don't do that to
It's
yourself.
all mental. Time is arbitrary. It's not a real thing.
Yeah, no, it's a flat circle and it's not a real thing. So like as you grow up, and you get or like as you get older and like start becoming an adult, like when did you know that rap would become more than just a hobby for you? And like when did you realize it was time to like make your own music?
Oh man, good question. I always kind of like performing. Um my mom had like involuntarily placed me in like a drama club and drama classes when I was like 4 or 5. She had me acting really young for reasons I'm not really sure of to this day. I used to perform for like my kindergarten teachers, like Fresh Prince songs. I think Parents Just Understand was the first rap song I ever memorized.
Wow.
So I always like performing. And I think it was probably 10th grade because for me, this is the late 90s. So hip hop's like, it's exploding in a way that it, I don't know anybody who wasn't around could really understand it. Because every lunch period was a cipher. All you talked about was what you saw in Rap City. All that mattered was somebody bringing in the new issue of The Source. So I say that to say, for my love of performing and for really just like realizing in high school I wasn't really good at anything except like writing raps. I remember my homeboy started writing and he's like, hey man, he was like biting people's raps. My homeboy Duran, he was like stealing his older homeboys' raps. He was
There's always one, bro.
Yo,
That's
there's
hilarious.
always one. He'd do that and he'd bite like Rampage, Busta Rhymes man's raps for some reason. And then I would write my own shit. And that was it. It was like years. I think from the time I first wrote my first rap, which was probably like 8th or 9th grade, to when I was actually had the courage to rap in public, which is probably like 10th or 11th grade. There was a little gap. But yeah, I went on a tangent there, but just that era of late 90s rap from hip hop becoming this kind of going from the niche thing to becoming literally pop culture, and being an adolescent, a black adolescent at that during that period of time. It just seemed like the coolest thing you could possibly fucking do. I mean, you just wanted to be cool at that time, so that seemed like the thing to jump onto.
Right, totally. Yeah, like like I can relate. Like that was I mean, like it was like kind of different going to school in like the early 2000s, but like rap was everywhere, like I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, like I remember like people, like I remember the first time I saw the Clips's Mr. Me Too video, and like that kind of changing my life,
Sure.
and like that and just like people talking about that, and like hearing stories and seeing videos of people banging on the table for grinding. I mean, like obviously like there's more to rap than just Clips, but like that's just the first thing that came to mind. But
No, you know what? If you want to just, if the Clips were the only thing that ever existed, that would be fine with me too. It's probably like my favorite rap group of all time. So it's all good.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate that.
They're pretty perfect. or at least those first two projects. Those first two projects are so solid. Yeah.
Two perfect albums, bro. Two perfect albums.
Yeah.
I remember that Lord Willing, bro. That shit came out summer 02. It was between my first and second year of college at Howard University. And like we all came back to college and all anybody could talk about was Lord Willing. Because it came out of fucking nowhere. Like
right.
you vaguely remember the funeral, the single that they had. I think it came out like 99. Which Rap City gave a lot of burn to. The album never dropped. We all know the urban legend about that. And they kind of just seemed like a weird Philly's Most Wanted, even down to like the Neptunes production. And I just remember it was like the end of freshman year at Howard. We had just got cable in the dorms. So we got NBA TV and we got BET. So being at a black school, obviously all channels in the dorms are tuned in like one of those two channels, right?
Oh,
NBA
TV,
yeah. BET. That's it. Plus playoffs are starting this shit. It's like we got it. We got cable in like May, so it's fucking lit. And
yeah, exactly.
I remember like when everybody first heard the beat, when everybody first heard the grinding beat, the album probably dropped like 3 months later. And that was like genre shifting. That's one of the last true classics in hip hop I can remember, in the sense that when you heard it, you weren't quite sure how to take it because you hadn't heard anything like it before. There was there's no precursor to Lord Willing. Really, I don't think. It's obviously they kind of fit Fabulous and Jadakiss and the Lox into that world, but sonically it was completely different.
Yeah, man, they were really trailblazers in a lot of ways, and then and just like them to see them, not to go off too crazy here, but to see them go from playing. I remember I would hear Push talk about him playing like shows for every drug dealer in the United States of America. To go from that to him playing, like I just saw him do Rolling Loud 2 weeks ago, like, and he's about to play my hometown not too soon. Like, he's about to play in Jersey. So like that's like seeing his career path has been crazy, and I hope he and Malice put out another album. I'm selfish.
I hope so too, because Malice still fucking has it, man. He still got it.
He does.
He still got it. Yeah,
he does, bro.
It's very much like their career is crazy. I mean, Pusha T, the solo artist, and Pusha T, member of the Clips, is just it's not only two different eras, but it's almost two different artists.
Yeah, definitely.
He rapped completely differently on those Clips albums. And part of that is him finding out that, like, and I've learned this before too, like rapping in a group and rapping solo, like having to create your own worldview as opposed to sharing one with another MC, completely changes the way you write. And you can see him trying to, with his first couple solo mixtapes, trying to figure that out. And it took him a while because a lot of that stuff was mid. And a lot of it was great. Yeah. And a lot of it was great, but he literally had to start from scratch, man. He had to become like a brand new rapper.
Yeah, man, Wrath of Kane is not good. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh no, it is not,
Yeah,
man.
it's not good. And that's fine, like.
Yeah, we can accept that. I mean, for what he's given us, we allowed him those growing pains. I remember he was doing like a weird dance hall thing for a while. I forgot what was that song. And the zone is on my blocker. I forgot what it was called, but
Oh shit,
yeah,
I don't remember either.
you,
But
yeah, but yeah,
I know it though. I know it though.
like when I said the zone is on my blocker, you know what I'm talking about.
Now I gotta go find it, son.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
go find it. I think it's on Wrath of Kane, but yeah, it took him a while, man. Shout
yeah, it
out to
did take
Pusha,
him a
man. He's
while.
great.
For real. So talk to me, but you just mentioned just like the parallel between like being solo and coming from a group, and like I know you kind of had a whole expansive career before you and Infinity Knives linked up. So like
Sure.
talk to me, like it doesn't have to be too long, but just like run through so just like talk to me a little bit about your start and like you kind of finding your voice and making music, and then what it was like to find someone like Tariq and how the two of you kind of amplified each
Absolutely.
other.
Yeah, I mean that's I was in I always made my own songs, but primarily the music that I put out from probably late high school through my mid 20s was with me and a good friend of mine named Duran. We had a group called Special Ops. And it was kind of like I don't know, I think we wanted to be like Cameron and Jewels. So that's kind of like what we're going for a little bit. But this motherfucker like refused to go in on like studio sessions. Like I would like pay, and he'd be like, "I'll pay you back." And he would just never pay me back the money. And so I was like, "All right, it's time to go solo and shit." You know what I'm saying? So that obviously took a while because when when you're in a group, you can just write a hot 16 and that kind of works for the song because you got another guy can add another perspective and it makes it a whole thing. You don't have to be a whole thing. So I had to kind of, as we were discussing with Pusha, become a whole thing. I think I finally found my voice. I dropped an album in 2013 called Candy Cigarettes. The single from that was a song called Newport Music. And I still think it's probably the best song I've ever done. But I just kind of figured it out. It finally clicked. I hate to quote like Malcolm Gladwell and shit, like, the pseudoscience and he's kind of a dick. But
right.
If any of that's true, I feel like I probably hit like my 10,000 hours around the time I did Newport Music. And that's why I bring up Malcolm Gladwell. I feel like I just wrote enough and understood music enough to where it finally locked in. And then the third part of your question is meeting somebody like Tariq. I've said this to other people too. Honestly, just a relief to find somebody that makes your ideas better and also has great ideas themselves is a relief. To not always have the burden of keeping the momentum forward is a relief. And just knowing that you got to do that's like on some next level shit. It's very, I can get like a little esoteric in the raps or get super brazen or offensive because I know what he's doing sonically is so fucking crazy. It's gonna balance itself out. He describes it all the time as like Customato and Tyson. In the sense that it's the first time I've ever had someone. I've had plenty of beat makers, but the first time someone actually produced me, and kind of molded and really said, "Hey man, maybe do another take of that verse," or "Hey, scrap that line." It's just been a relief, man. It's been a fucking blessing. He's like he's a brother to me at this point. We've known each other for about 10 years, but we just started making music together about 3 years ago. Everything happened in due time. It worked out.
Right. Yeah. Just like, just like hearing, like the stuff I've heard on Rhino XL and King Cobra is just like, I just like just like the way your voice cuts through just like the really beautiful, weird shit that he does. Like, just like y'all sound y'all sound like you were always destined to make music together. Like just hearing you talk about Chris Donner over the sounds that you do on that song is just like it just works, you know, like I
It
just like
works.
that,
I gotta
like
say it
that.
does.
Yeah, like that's the thing I love about you as a rapper is that like you're just so. I'm like I haven't heard everything you've done and I want to fix that now. But like,
Sure.
but like I love how direct you are. You know, like I love how
Right.
direct and just like funny and like honest you are. Just like hearing you talk about Chris Donner, hearing you fucking I'm hearing you fucking lay out rapists, hearing you like do the thing
Yeah.
like you know like because like there aren't enough people who go at these like structures and these predators and these vultures
Yeah.
in like especially in rap. So like it's just like really refreshing, not even just like the stuff that you talk about, but just like how you do it and just like just like and you know, like even you saying something as innocuous as like I just noticed that the American flag is the same color as cop lights. Like I never thought about that until you said that. I was like, yo, like whoa, like and like it's just so direct. Like you're not being too clever for the sake of it. You just said it,
Yeah.
and it's just like, huh, they are, aren't they? Like you
They
know, like
are.
type shit. Like
I was, it's funny when I wrote that, I wondered. I'm like, yo, does everybody notice that? Like, am I late? Is this profound? Like, I wasn't really sure, but I don't know if I never noticed it until I wrote that rap. I was like, oh shit, it's red, white, and blue. I don't know what even occurred, but one, let me say, man, it's always like humbling, very much so, to hear someone like speak about your art and your creative work like that. So I really appreciate the words.
no, of course.
It's just I just started writing instead of trying to like, and this probably happened around the Newport Music Candy Cigarettes era. It's like instead of trying to write the most clever, you mentioned not trying to be too clever, or like the hardest thing, I was just like, well, what do I talk about? You know what I mean? And that's a lot what, and me and Tariq have said that previously. It's like a lot of King Cobra is really just, it's conversations that me and Tariq have. Like that's like if you look at our text threads, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the level of humor, the level of like gallows humor and like depravity, mixed with kind of our thoughts on really how the world works is really how we communicate. So it's just a matter of really trying to. It's just a matter of trying to not even try to make it that musical. You know what I mean? Because I can always find a bounce. You know what I mean? Like I can rap inherently. So I don't even have to think about that aspect. I have to think about my truths, and I think I'm pretty funny, and it's just a matter of bringing that across in the raps as well.
Right. And like and like you just make it seem so effortless. And that's really not easy to do because like when it comes to stuff like that, like you hear it, like you know, you hear yourself say something like the American flag and the cop shit, and it's just like,
Yeah,
damn, you know, like as a writer, I get it because like I slave over sentences. Like there'll be some
sure.
days where I spend literally 45 minutes writing one sentence. Like I will write it over and over and over again until it flows right,
Same here,
until
bro.
it feels direct. Like it's like so like I really get where you're coming from in that sense because like I see the work. Or at the very least, like I understand the level of work that goes into like you getting your thoughts on a page because like
Right.
because you know just like speaking for myself, like I talk a lot but like I feel like I feel like one of the reasons I love writing so much is like I feel it's like I'm able to get my thoughts out as concise as they need to be on the page because
Sure.
I can kind of take my time and make it make it right in that way. And like
Exactly.
and like I get that sense from you. Like you're someone who like really values like the art of like writing some shit down in a way that makes sense but is also like fly and hard in a way that doesn't feel like you're trying, you know, like yeah, you know, like you're not like fucking
100%.
you're not goddamn what was the name of that last Royce the 5 9 album that was fucking terrible?
Oh, he's got
Not
plenty of them. Which one are you talking about?
not the Book of Ryan because I like the Book of Ryan. The last one, the one with
With the J.
the one
Cole
that
single?
the one that got nominated for a Grammy.
Ah, yeah. I don't remember the name of the album, but I know what you're talking about. Yep, it was
It's
bad.
fucking garbage. Like oh my god, you know, like just like there's just like sometimes where I just like rappers are like extremely talented, but you can just tell that they're like trying too hard to like make the triple entendre land and like show you, it's
Yeah.
just like look at me do the thing, as opposed to like listen to what I have to say. Like there's a time and a
Right.
place for everything, but like
Yeah.
you're very much like a listen to what I have to say type of person. And I appreciate that about you,
Yeah. I'm very much not into like the technique aspect of it. Like, ain't no disrespect to
Ooh.
him, but like I'm not trying to, I'm not Tech 9. I don't impress myself by like fitting a bunch of like syllables in a bar. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
or mastering my breath control, or like layering the rhyme so that this rhyme actually connects with the beginning of that rhyme. Like I'm just trying to say some shit that makes sense. And to go back to what you said, yeah, the way I write is very much as I'm sure you write as like a journalist, or how we used to write in high school, in a sense that there's like a rough draft, and then I write like a first draft, and then I
Mm-hmm.
take stuff out and fix it and cross it out, and then you eventually get like the final draft. I'm not somebody that like I don't write in the studio. I don't nothing I would put on a record, especially King Cobra. Nothing we put on a record with King Cobra, I don't think was the first verse I wrote to a particular beat.
Right.
Like nothing you hear on King Cobra is this is what I wrote to it when I heard the beat. Everything has been improvised and improved and kind of strengthened, man. I think the writing part of it. I take the writing part of it a lot more seriously than I do the rapping part of it. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense to me, and I love to hear that because you don't hear that very often. Like
Right.
like it's usually like either both or like a little more toward the rapping, and just like that's what I appreciate about you as a writer, because like I can tell that you care in that way.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I'm
And
glad it comes off, yo. I mean, I'm glad
yeah,
it comes
no,
off. That's a relief to hear, because you never really know until somebody tells you. You know what I mean?
yeah, and oh no, I feel you 1,000%. Like that shit is so real. um, and yeah, I know. Yeah, I know I kept you a little over time. I'm sorry. I got one
You're
more
good,
question for
man.
you. Um, Brian, if your life was a movie, what would it be about?
Oh, what would it be about? Um, I think my movie would definitely be. It wouldn't have a very strong plot. I think it would basically be a year in the life of a meandering soul. Very much like black comedy. I think is where it would be. It'd
Okay.
be about somebody. It'd be about somebody kind of fighting his own demons and trying to do the right thing in a bunch of different ways, but just not quite pulling it off. I think that's what it would be about. And then to bring this conversation full circle, just like the end of Robocop, I think it would end with some resolution, but not necessarily in a very happy way.
You know what that sounds like to me? I was just thinking about this movie 2 days ago. You ever see Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai before?
Dude, I've never seen it, but I know of the movie, of course. Forrest Whitaker, RZA did the soundtrack. It came
Mm-hmm.
out when I was in high school, and I just never got a chance to go to the theater to see it, yo.
It's good. It's definitely worth a watch. It's the first soundtrack RZA ever did for a movie. So like that was like
Right,
his
right. I
entrance into
remember
the
that was a
shit,
big
and
deal.
like, yeah, man, and like the movie, and like that movie is just like the whole idea is just like this guy who follows the Bushido code, but like he like works for the mob. So like the mob doesn't follow no fucking Bushido code. So like what the fuck are you doing? Like he's
Right.
like he like like his life is based around these principles that the people that he does this dirty bullshit for don't care about.
They don't
So
adhere to
like
it. Yeah.
so it's just like his whole life is just like a meandering, like it's just like it like that like what you just said reminds me so much of Ghost Dog. And it's
Now
crazy because I was
I
just
gotta
thinking
watch
about it.
Ghost
Like
Dog now. I've been putting it off for 20 years. Now's the time. I gotta watch Ghost Dog. Shout out
it's
Forrest Whitaker,
great.
man.
It's worth it, honestly. Like he's like
Yeah,
that
I've never heard a
that
bad thing about it. Yeah.
right. That really might be the best thing he's ever done. It's like at least top 3 of anything
Holy
he's done, up
shit.
there, up there with the damn. I mean, he's good in everything he does, but
He's good
like
in
it's like
everything.
the Idi Amin movie was really he was
Yeah,
really good
Last
in
King
it.
of Scotland. Yeah,
Last King of Scotland's not a great movie, but he's fantastic in it.
he's amazing.
And
Though. Exactly.
and what was that? Oh, what was that? Repo Men movie where like
Him and his brother.
no, it was him and Jude Law. Him and Jude Law.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, they were like cops in the future who work for this company
I remember that movie
that
was
like
bugged out.
leases organs to people. Movie's crazy. Movie's
That
so
movie
wild.
is bugged out. All right, so now this is a good conversation because now I like have to go back to things. Like I gotta watch Ghost Dog, I gotta watch Repo Man. I'm writing things down right now.
Hell yeah.
and I gotta find fucking Song of the South. That's like now my quest for the rest of my fucking life.
If you do, let me know because I need to see it.
100, I'll do it. I'm gonna send it to you, no question. I'm forwarding that shit to you immediately.
Hell yeah, Brian! Thank you so much, bro. Like,
I
know you didn't have all the time in the world, but I appreciate you even just giving me an hour. You know, like,
dude, I appreciate you being flexible and kind of working with my schedule. You know, the kind words, having me and Tyreek on here because you know we're independent artists, man. With obviously no major money or backing behind us. So people like yourself that have taste, you know, pushing us to a larger audience is really what's propelling us right now, man. So thank you sincerely.
Nah, man, it's the least I could do. You know, like it's my job, and or I mean, like, forget even the fact that it's my job. Like, I love this music. I love what y'all made. Like, you made a really good album that I think
appreciate
people need
shit.
to hear more about. You know, like, and I'm so sorry I couldn't be at the fucking. I was supposed to be at the Shrapnel show.
I remember, I was like, damn, Dylan went there. After, you know, it was a nasty night. I know shit comes up. It was Sunday, like
it was, yeah. I'm just sorry I couldn't be there.
Hey man, we'll be back soon. We'll be back soon. We tore that shit down, and we'll definitely be back soon, man. So next time for sure.
Yeah, please next time. But nah, man, like, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for doing.
Hey
this.
man,
like,
all love, brother. We definitely gonna talk soon. Again, I appreciate everything. It was my pleasure.
Thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.